Fulham got their first win earlier in the week. However, they succumbed to a very late, very complex finish to the game here at West Ham. It was West Ham 1, Fulham 0 in this one. And you can see everything happening in that stoppage time period there at the end of the game. Fulham lining up with an unchanged team there. Harrison Reed starts ahead of Lamina, but Scott Parker now appears to have a shape, a strategy, and a back four, which it seemed like for the first few games of the season he was not sure on any of those things. So maybe I'm a bit unfair on the strategy. We know how he wants to play, but it's taken him 8 games or 7 indeed to find a formula and get the win. West Ham there, Fabianski, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Balbuena, Masuaku and Kufal are the wing-backs with Susek and Rice in central midfield. One of our championship favourites, Jared Bowen, right, Fornals left, Haller up top. So, Fulham go across London. And here is the goal action. And it's stoppage time. The ball's gone in the box. And it's one of those ones where you freeze it and you say, where's the only place? Well, there's 2 places you don't want this ball to be headed. Either to number 9, Said Benrahma, or to Souček, who's arriving on the edge of the box. You just think, head it anywhere. Head it out for a throw-in, out for even concede a corner. Just don't head it there. God. So Anderson heads it to Benrahma, who squares the ball and assisting. Is it his first game, Benrahma? I'm not entirely sure there. Comes off the bench here. And Souček gives West Ham the lead there on 91 minutes. And the commentator cries in the YouTube footage I watched. And they've won it. West Ham have won it. Fulham coming a cropper late in the game. But that's not the whole story, because there is Said Benrahma and Tom Kearney in a championship favourites sandwich there. Benrahma on the VAR is pulled up for the foul. And we have a penalty. Oh, dear. And Ademola Lookman, who's been really good since he arrived at Fulham, for some reason, and we'll discuss why maybe in a second, he tries to dink the penalty. He gets it totally wrong. Look, Fabianski, to his credit, doesn't fling himself to one side, because if he does, then this all looks very lovely and flies in the middle. But he's able to get to his right knee, pull out his left arm and just reach out and make a very, very easy save there. And Lookman looks silly rather than Lookman. I had a great chat with my favourite player of all time, Marcus Stewart, on this channel. And I asked him about a Panenka penalty that he'd dinked and scored for Ipswich against Southampton. And he was very keen to answer. And he said that he saw his penalties as part of a long-term strategy, a long-term goal-scoring strategy. And he said that he threw in a Panenka. He'd done it twice in his career. He'd thrown in a Panenka, I don't know, every 10th penalty or something, just to get in the goalkeeper's heads in terms of the strategy. And that he knew after he'd done it that he wasn't going to do it again. So the justification for taking a penalty explained to me by my favourite player of all time, who did score the thick end of 20 Premier League goals in the 2001 season for Ipswich, justifies it fairly well. That says keepers are going to do research. They're going to know where you're going to go. You need to be able to go low left, low right, high left, high right, down the middle, and the Panenka. You need to have these different strategies and being able to execute for all of them in terms of your penalty practice and your penalty strategy. That's the mitigating factor. Obviously, with the Panenka, it helps if, like Marcus Stewart, you've had a run of penalties where you've gone left, right, left, and scored lots of them. Look, Lookman took the penalty. He made an absolute mess of it, and the dink gets saved. Maybe on the Panenka, there needs to be more disguise. You need to run up faster. And I always remember Andrea Pirlo's one against Joe Hart, where Joe Hart is so psyched up and too emotional. You can see he's yelling and screaming at Pirlo, and Pirlo obviously knows that Joe Hart is not going to stand still. So sometimes you can play into that as well as a means. And Pirlo was so clever that this guy has not got control of his emotions. He's not going to be thinking as clearly as I am. If I dink this down the middle, he's too hyped up and he's going to dive out the way of it. So, maybe Lookman needs to run in a bit quicker. There needs to be more disguise. The fact is, it's no consolation to Fulham fans. He makes a right mess of it. And the dink is saved. And Fulham, if it was to win the game, that's very different than to just draw it, because that's the difference between, 1 point and 3 points. We're talking about the difference between 0 and 1. But it's still going to be galling for Fulham fans. But they do look more competitive now, don't they? Let's just say. Fulham in 17th, outside of the relegation zone. Look at that. 2 big chances to 1. West Ham 7 shots to 3 on target. And I do have to say, is there a hit woodwork stat on there? Yes. Hit woodwork twice, West Ham. So, look, it wasn't a case of plain sailing and Fulham were, unlucky to not win this game. But it was a tight game. West Ham hit the woodwork a couple of times, scored late. Fulham missed a penalty and another big chance into the bargain. So, look, Fulham didn't look competitive at all for the first few games. They now look much more competitive and they're not in the relegation zone. So, although all any Fulham fan is going to be thinking about is, oh my God, why did one of our better players make such a hideous mess of that penalty? There are positives here, and Fulham are outside of the relegation zone. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on that one, and the penalty, and the strategies, and the whys and the wherefores of taking a Panenka. It didn't work out, and it was West Ham 1, Fulham 0. Get your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.